Hi, I'm CJ Elmberg with Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. We've got a really cool trailer behind us. This is a Cimarron Winstar. This is kind of a combination of a stock combo and a slant load. So if you're familiar with Cimarron's models, there's a North Star, which is going to be their standard horse trailer model, but then there's the Lone Star, which is going to be the stock trailer, stock combos. So again, a Winstar is kind of combination of the two. So we're really excited to walk you through this trailer. This thing has a ton of extras, ton of options on it for you. Before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at the drawing. I want to show you how the trailer lays out itself. We're looking at 27 foot on the floor. We are 7'6" wide, so we're a little bit wider than standard. And then we're 7'4" tall, so a little bit taller than standard. So a little extra width and extra height on this trailer. It's got a unique tack setup on it that we're going to show you. But just walk through this. We're going to show you a lot of the options, a lot of the features, and what really sets this trailer apart. First and foremost, with the Cimarron, you're all aluminum construction. You have an 8-year structure warranty, 3-year hardware warranty, 1-year no questions asked warranty on your tires, which we'll circle back around and talk about that here in a little bit. But first and foremost, let's just take a look at the nose. We've got the stainless sheet up on the nose itself. Really just, I think, just kind of ties the trailer together and just finishes it off really nice. You're gonna have 3 marker lights up on the top rail. That's standard on the 25 models. We are doing that on a lot of our custom trailers, bigger living quarters, those type of trailers, but it's a really good look to it, so they've made it standard. The coupler itself is made by B&W, so you're familiar with B&W turnover balls, some of the bumper pull hitches that they make. But Cimarron and B&W teamed up a couple years ago. They've made this hitch for Cimarron for a number of years. It's rated for 25,000 pounds. This is the 3rd generation. This is a really good end product that we have here, because it has a lower profile handle, which allowed for one more hole to be drilled in this. So we can actually push it up into that stem a little bit more, depending on your truck. You know, this isn't as quite as necessary as like our big living quarters, our big trainer trailers, you know, that might be getting hauled with a hauler, a semi, something along those lines, to where this here has got a lot of ability to adjust that, you know, by shoving that up in there, making sure the trailer's running nice and level. But again, 3rd generation, again, been a great relationship between B&W and Cimarron. Underneath the gooseneck, this is a really nice, very well equipped trailer. So let's go ahead and equip it with the equalizer, electric over hydraulic jack. This has the manual override, so in emergency situations you could get on or off. It's funny, I just happened to talk to some customers over the weekend, had a different version of this where they couldn't manually pump it on or off the truck, and they said, we will never own another trailer without that option on there. Just for, again, those certain situations, it does call for it, and it is a nice feature to have. With that, you're going to get the aluminum battery box that's going to store a 12-volt battery. You're also going to get a battery disconnect that's standard. That's a really nice feature as well. This thing's got a lot of lights on it that I'll show you. So when you walk away from this trailer, you just reach up there, turn that guy to the off position. It kills all power to the trailer, so we're not draining this battery down. One more feature that's now standard on it is going to be that RedArc charger. We've been doing some testing with it, putting on some trailers. It is now standard when you have this kind of jack and the battery type setup from Cimarron. This is a true 3-staging charger. The best way to explain it is it's a supercharger for your battery. Where your truck used to work as a trickle charger to this battery, so very slowly charge it up. When we're plugged in, you know, it'll keep that battery nice and charged up. The other thing is, by having that, it's going to give a lot of more, you know, life and longevity to the battery itself by having that. Now, we talked a little bit about, you know, the nose and adjusting that coupler. Well, here's another piece. A Cimarron nose is 8'2" long, so a lot longer than a standard. A lot of competitors run a 7'6", 7'8". You see how that box for the jack kind of sits off that spare tire there. Long box trucks, you have to kind of watch them on those shorter noses, because you'll get into that cover, you'll break it, you'll crack it. You might have to stop, put your tailgate up, then finish backing up if possibly if you're not, you know, perfectly square. Well, with that being 8'2", A long box truck, you can drop the tailgate and you can walk through there. I think it's a fantastic feature just to be able to operate, you know, between the truck and the trailer itself, even with a tailgate down. On the other side of things, gooseneck drop wall height. Standard is 50 inches, okay? Well, what has happened over the last couple years? Ram and Fords have had taller truck beds. GM changed their body style a couple years ago, made it 2.5 inches higher. So a little bit of a homework project for you is keep an eye on newer trucks with older trailers. One of two things will happen. Either the trailer is nice and level, how it should be, equal weight distribution on their axles, but we have minimal bed clearance. So we have a chance of tearing up the bed on that new pickup that's really expensive. Or they've got plenty of bed clearance because the trailer's nosed up, but now we're running most of the weight on the back axle, and that's not what we want. So we go ahead for a lot of ours. Now it's a case-by-case basis, depending on, you know, tire size, axle articulation, is it air ride, non-air ride. But most of these standard trailers like this are gonna be a 53-inch gooseneck drop. So 53-inch gooseneck drop, well, we lost 3 inches of storage in the nose, but guess what? We went to 7.4, so really you didn't, you know, lose anything there. But now it allows you to level this trailer out with that B&W coupler and making sure it's running level with equal weight distribution on those two axles. So just a couple little pieces right there. I'll show you the storage aspect of the larger size of that nose when we get to the front dressing room area. But here you go, here's Cimarron's Easy Tack. So this is fantastic because this is similar to a trainer tack style with double doors, but this one here is going to be the Easy Tack. So you're going to have a partial wall up top. I'll show you here in a second. But first, let's look at the doors. So dual doors. The left one that you're going to look at will shut first, and then your right one, door will overlap that. But as you can see, everything's carpeted. Both of them have a 4-tier blanket pull rack on a gas shock, so they do swing out. And then a brush tray. So those two doors mirror. We have 2 steps. The steps are really nice, so if I need to get up to our hooks up here, I can easily do that. As you see, we've got a big long row of bridle hooks. Those are aluminum powder coated, so they're really stout. Again, carpet all the way around. There's carpet on all the doors and all the walls in here. So as you can see with the Easy Tack, you're gonna have this partial build out. We'll show you the deck on the other side when we get there. But then, as you can see, we have 3 recessed posts with 2 saddle racks per. So we have 6 saddle racks here. You see the amount of floor space you have as well. And what's so cool is these are adjustable. So maybe you don't necessarily need to haul 6, maybe you want to haul 4 or 5, whatever. You can adjust these up and down. If you want to take a section out, you can give yourself even more floor space, a lot more storage. But again, there's quite a bit of storage in this tack, just based on the size that we put it on there. We didn't want it overly cramped. Maybe it added, you know, typically on these trailers, you might see the floor length about 26 and a half. We went ahead and made it 27 just because we didn't want everything too tight and too cramped for you. So as you can see, left-hand door shuts as you're looking at it with the internal 2-point locking mechanism. Right-hand door overlaps. You can lock this guy. Then fold-up steps are just on a gas shock. So fold them up, out of the way really easily. Now, white is standard, so the white sheeting is standard, but when you go and change the color, like this one here is charcoal metallic. This is probably the most popular color right now. Really ties in well with a lot of the color schemes of the trucks. This is a fantastic color. There will be a little bit more of an upcharge when you go to a different color. If you want to do custom, that can be done as well. But I love this color because in direct sunlight, really clear days, it looks really like a dark charcoal. Then when you get, you know, maybe in the shade or maybe not as much light, it'll darken up, kind of look a little bit more black. But I think it hides, you know, a lot of the dirt really well compared to like a black trailer. It'll show that quite a bit. But again, really good look to that trailer and the color scheme and how everything ties together. So right above those doors, you're gonna notice a 16-inch awning light. So we've got a light over it. We had lights on the inside, lights on the outside, so you have plenty of that. Above that door, all the way across is a drip rail. And why that's important is Look, we just had a dusting of snow last night. The sun's gonna come out, it's gonna melt it off today, and then overnight it's gonna freeze again. Well, that moisture wants to try to find those door openings and try to work its way back in, depending on how the trailer's sitting, and then it could potentially freeze and just make it really difficult to open. You don't want to rip off door seals, anything like that, but that drip rail is going to try to deter all that and try to keep it away from that area. You're also going to notice all these doors have welded hinges with grease zerks, so easier to maintain for you. If you start getting a squeaky hinge, you can put a little grease to it and open and close it. There's actually a brass rod in the middle. It runs the full length of the hinge itself, and it's got a groove cut into it. Imagine the swirl of like a candy cane. So when you put grease to it and open and close these doors, it's wanting to feed that grease throughout the entire hinge. There's some manufacturers that'll do a welded hinge, but the only way to really get anything to it, to lubricate it, is you got to heat it up, and it's quite a process. This is a lot simpler by Cimarron doing that aspect of it. Okay, on that top rail, you're gonna have some button lights. They're really nice because they're not a big power draw. They're LED, so they're not a big power draw there, but they put off a good amount of light, and this trailer does dress up really well. Another 16-inch awning light, about center of your wheel well area there, so we have light coverage actually out here as you're tacking up. You're also gonna have a 9-foot sheeted hay rack up top there. So we have storage up top for you. We wanted to make sure you had adequate just storage on this trailer. Again, it's a lot simpler to have that hay rack on it when we build it at the factory rather than adding it. We can add them, but again, it's just a lot simpler process there. Two rows of air gaps there with plexiglass. I'll show you the plexiglass tray in a little bit, but you can take these guys out. What's really important when I show you that tray is if you do take these sections out, this trailer is on a slant wall, and we have an escape door on the other side. So we have different lengths of plexiglass. This will save you a lot of time and hassle. If you take out the lower passenger side, take a roll of masking tape, painter's tape, and a Sharpie and write passenger lower. Do the same for the upper. Do the same on the other side. Keep them together. The best way to explain it is it's a puzzle that you have to put back together, and you don't know what the picture looks like. So it'll save you a lot of time and hassle by knowing where those plexi pieces go to when you go to reinstall them. 5 tie rings on the outside here. And then as we get into, we've got 2 Dexter rubber torsion axles. These are 7K axles, 16 ply tires, aluminum wheels, electric brakes. And then we upgraded from a 10 ply tire to a 14 ply. Look, it's a little bit taller, a little bit wider. We have a hay rack up top. Let's go ahead, put a little bit bigger, heavier duty tire on it. Believe me, you'll be happy with those rather than those little bit smaller 10 plies. Now, I mentioned the 1 year, no questions asked warranty on tires. That's not directly through Cimarron, that's through Lion's Head, who's the vendor for their wheels and tires. Both our brands, Cimarron and Logan, our new brands, use Lion's Head. They're fantastic to work with. So if you have catch road debris, have a blowout, you catch a nail that maybe catches the sidewall that can't be patched, from the day you purchase the trailer, it's covered for 1 year. We can help you with that warranty process. We'll need some pictures of the damaged tires and some codes off of it, so don't just dispose of it. Talk to us, get us some pictures, and then you can dispose of it from there. But it's nice to have that coverage there. We saw a lot of Cimarrons, a lot of Logans. We'll have a few throughout the year that we have to deal with that, but it is nice to have that little bit of assurance there. Okay, as we get to the back of the trailer, dual 50/50 gates. So they're independent. You can shut them, close them. Doesn't have to go in any particular order. You're going to notice that they have kick mats on them as well. Kick mats all the way on the inside. I'll show you that here in a second. But if we look at the top rail, you're going to have an 8-inch awning light there. And then on your marker lights, you can see those on the top rail. I'll shut these gates here in a little bit. But you're going to see kind of a white little X in there. Those are actually backup lights. So on all 4 of these rear tail lights here, you're actually going to have backup lights. When you throw it in reverse, it's 27 foot on the floor. Our backup lights on the truck are basically worthless. It's nice to have that, to see back here, you know, in unfamiliar places at night in the dark. You don't know what you're backing up to. Again, on the truck, they're worthless being that far away, so it's nice to have those guys. If you want a rear ramp, that can be done. Just remove the rubber bumper and attach a ramp over. But then as we work in, you're gonna notice solid airflow dividers. This trailer is tipped towards passenger side the way it's sitting. So if we level this trailer out, these dividers are actually going to pull flush against the wall there and out of the way, making it easy. One-handed operation, leading a horse, open a divider, shutting a divider, whatever you need to. Again, everything one-handed operation. As you can see, we get to the first two. Number 2 divider is going to be a stud divider with the airflows, but then the very front one is going to be a stud divider and then the full extension. So this extended bars clear up and over the hip of the horse. That way, look, maybe you want to put some bedding, some extra feed, other things in this front stall, and you can stack them clear up to the ceiling. Because one, we don't have to worry about things getting underneath them in traveling because of the stud divider, but also we can stack up as well. But if you need to just separate somebody completely, it's definitely a nice feature to have. Again, one-handed operation, the slam latch, also releasing, that simple. These are recessed latches. This is a aluminum cast piece that's powder coated, heavy UHMW plastic paddle latch, so we don't have metal to metal contact when we shut these dividers, creating a lot of rattle, a lot of noise in here. That I give Cimarron a lot of credit on. Everything has a radius, everything is smooth. So when you're putting your hands on everything in these stall areas, again, everything is very smooth and very easy to operate. You're gonna notice, because it's 7.6 wide, you're gonna get a little bit of wheel well. They even tapered that. So they tapered the ends and then they tapered up. So again, none of those 90-degree sharp angles, anything like that. Airflow dividers are really going to create a lot of just air movement in here. Maybe you keep the plexiglass in. You have roof vents, so you have two-way roof vents up high so you can manipulate airflow there. We did 5 of them, kind of one in front of, above each stall. You're also going to have an insulated roof. That is standard on every single Cimarron. This stuff is stout. So I can walk on and take 150 pounds per square foot, take substantial hail, but more importantly, in my opinion, is keeps this stall area about 20% cooler than aluminum sheeted roofs. That makes a massive difference in the heat. There's all kinds of stories out there from customers, feedback when we bring customers to the lot on summer hot days and take them to different manufacturers. You can feel the difference when you step in a Cimarron, and that's because of that roof that again is standard on every single one of them. When you flip to the other side of the trailer, what you're going to notice first and foremost is Werm flooring. So instead of rubber mats, we opted for Werm flooring on this guy. It's permanent, it's impenetrable. You don't have to pull mats out. You muck out what you need and then just power wash it. It's that simple. Below it is the industry's best floor. It is a 12-inch interlocking extruded deck. So tongue and groove, high and low, so 2 points of contact where it locks into place. More importantly is 4-inch centers with a V-truss. So on that 12-inch deck board, you have that many points of contact. Wherever you have a horse standing on a new Cimarron, they are standing on the industry's best floor. So why that's important is, it's, in my opinion, it's almost like building a house. You need a strong, solid foundation and then go up from there. You want to tell quality of an all aluminum trailer, crawl underneath and look at the floor. Watch the centers spread apart, not as much quality there. Now, pay attention, this back divider here is solid, it is non-telescoping. The reason why is it's one less moving piece, but it allowed us to make this back stall a little bit bigger. So, this is technically 5-horse, but this back stall, with it being a little bit bigger, you can easily squeeze a 6-horse on here. You might have to pick the 2 smaller ones to put back here, but definitely have the ability to go ahead and put about a 6-horse on here. You're gonna have the butt strap that goes across the opening because it's one big opening. We don't really want a piece of metal right there that goes all the way across when you're trying to open these bigger openings like that. Now I'm gonna shut these doors because I'll show you. You can see again on these rear tail lights, you get the backup lights in there. But over here on this left-hand door is going to be the ladder that goes up to our hay rack. So we shifted that hay rack forward a little bit. Again, remember the floor or the roof is extremely stout, so you can walk up there. So it gives you a little bit of a deck back there to kind of work off of, feeding up, you know, filling up hay bags, whatever you need to. Maybe you're stacking hay, throwing hay bales down, whatever you need to. It's nice to have an area to stand on. So normally, you know, a lot of manufacturers, you see a bolt-on ladder. So imagine trying to carry your hay bags or whatever you have up with one hand. It's dang near impossible. Well, Cimarron's got the easy angle ladder. Now I can easily get up and down this ladder. So that's fantastic. Even if you have a bolt-on, if you wanted to change to this guy, that can be done. But this is fantastic to be able to get up and down. And the other thing too is this is, again, about the third kind of design of this guy here as it's evolved. This one here is, we got it nailed. It's got a foot that it rests on. If I had to just run up this ladder, I could. But also, pay attention here, it locks in, just like I showed you on that tack door. With that latch, I can actually lock it and lock it into place. So I don't have to worry about that guy, you know, bouncing out as I'm traveling, or, you know, not getting it set in just right. Right at the back are all your actual light switches. So I can turn on those interior, turn on our exteriors on either side from all right here. So as we work over here to driver's side, same thing, 16-inch awning light up on the top rail. Again, about not quite centered at the wheel well area, but pretty dang close. There's a good look at that hay rack. Your plexiglass, again, you have different lengths, so that's why it's important to pay attention to that. 5 tie rings out here as well. More could be added. We just have to find the upright posts. We can do that. Access into that very first stall. You have a chest bar that goes across there, but you do have this access gate here on the side that allows you to get in and out of that first stall area if you need to. So the last piece, we showed you that easy tack on the other side. Over here on driver's side, on the back side of that wall, is going to be this front dressing room. So first and foremost, again, fold up step on gas shock, so really easy to get in and out. But then as you come in, you're going to notice, so this is what I was saying, this is the deck. So this is directly above the saddle racks. They're sitting just like this. That wall there is the back side of where we saw the bridle hooks. So ton of storage in this guy. This guy here is a nice deck, a nice lip here to hold items in place. Look at the size of that to be able to store items. If you needed to spend a night or two in this trailer, maybe you throw a mattress up there, some bed rolls, sleeping bags, and you have somebody else that's wanting to travel with you, this guy here almost works as like a bunk bed too. So, you know, it's stout enough that you can lay up there and sleep, but you've got the ability, you know, to either have a ton of storage, because remember that trailer, this nose is 8'2" long, so longer than standard, and we're 7'6" wide, so it widens it out as well. So there's a ton of storage space up in the nose itself. You have a couple windows to see out, create a cross breeze for you. LED light directly in the nose. It's framed for an air conditioner, or if you want like a 12-volt power vent, manual crank, you know, camper style vent, they all have the same footprint, so that piece of it's already done. And above the window over there on that right hand side is going to be that tray for the plexiglass. That's where, when you put them together in your sections, just set them right up there, and then they're up and out of the way. I see people that don't have those, throw them up on the deck, things get thrown up there, they're breaking plexiglass, then they're having to replace them. Behind me, step out of the way. We're gonna have an 18-inch deep shelf. So it's 18 inches off the wall. It's got a 2-inch lip. It's got rubber up there as well. So more storage up there. And then it's got a clothes bar. So again, if you're traveling, needing hanging clothes that aren't tying up space in the back of your truck, they've got a place to stay right here, keeping them nice and neat and organized. Or if you're showing off this trailer, you need to come and change, everything can be right here. Everything's carpeted, so can protect everything really, really well. There's an LED light directly above the door, so you have lights up in the nose and then, you know, above the door, so you get good light coverage. The last piece is going to be a 12-inch boot box. So this is great for small miscellaneous stuff. Look, this can work as a bench, but also a nice step when you're hopping up actually into the gooseneck area itself. Same thing on this door, the welded hinges, the drip rail, another 16-inch awning light on that top rail up there. That way, again, you've got lights all the way around this trailer, above your tack doors, above your dressing room, but then also where you're actually going to tie horses up. And whether you're, again, tacking up, unsaddling, whatever you need to, plenty of lights. You're never going to regret having a lot of lights on these trailers. So that about covers it on this guy. I'm going to give you the stock number for reference. Again, it's a 2025 Cimarron Winstar 5-horse. You can squeeze probably a 6th on there. Stock number is 5N241099. Again, it's that hybrid between kind of a combo and a slant load. But these guys here have been really popular. We do take trade-ins, so if you're looking to upgrade, downsize, we can help you there. Financing is available and delivery is an option, so we could potentially bring this to your door. So give us a call. Anybody on the sales team can help you out. That number is 303-684-3400. Appreciate you tuning in. Have a good day.